All right, let's talk about one of the most important new skills out there for anyone who's even touching AI, prompt engineering. You can think of it as the art and the science of having a really good conversation with an artificial intelligence. And trust me, it's the absolute key to unlocking what these things can really do.
So let's get right into the main idea, because it's probably not what you think. See, we're not trying to train the AI. Prompt engineering is all about training ourselves to give clear, smarter instructions. It totally flips the script, right? The real power isn't in reprogramming the machine, it's in how we talk to it.
Ever since generative AI tools like ChatGPT just exploded onto the scene, we've all had to face a new reality. And it's this. The quality of the answer you get back from these models is directly, and I mean directly, tied to the quality of what you ask it in the first place. And that question, that instruction, that's what we call a prompt. Now here's what's so cool about this. The mind-bogglingly huge job of actually training these language models, well, that's handled by giants like OpenAI and Google. We have zero control over that part. But the prompt, the actual words we type in, that is 100% in our hands. You're the director, and the AI is waiting for your instructions.
Okay, check out this example. It makes it so clear. Give the AI a vague prompt, like write about dogs, and you'll get back, well, a boring list of dog facts. But what if you get specific? What if you say, write a funny 100-word story about a heroic corgi who saves a picnic from a squirrel? Now you're talking. You get something totally unique and creative. Being specific isn't just better, it's faster. It gets you exactly what you want the first time.
So why should you really care about learning this? Simple. Because right now, getting good at prompt engineering is like getting a superpower. Seriously, it's a skill that has immediate, tangible benefits for your career, especially as AI gets woven into pretty much everything we do. Just look at this number, 3,163. Right now, that's how many jobs for a prompt engineer are listed on LinkedIn, in India alone. This isn't some future-gazing trend. The demand is here, it's real, and it is blowing up as more and more companies start using AI.
And you know what the best part is? This field is brand new. It's still evolving. There's no textbook, no one has a 10-year head start. That means it's this incredibly rare opportunity where you're not playing catch-up. If you jump in now, you can become a seasoned expert in just a couple of years, right as the whole field really hits its stride.
This quote just nails it. Think about it. A couple of decades ago, knowing how to use a search engine became a basic, fundamental skill for everyone. Well, that's what prompt engineering is becoming for this new era of AI. It's on its way to being second nature for literally every professional.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? How do we control these AI models? It's not just about typing words. There's a whole toolkit, a set of levers and dials we can use to really fine-tune the AI's behavior and get exactly what we need.
Broadly speaking, there are two main ways you can talk to a large language model, or an LLM. The first is the one we all know, the UI, that simple chat window on a website. But the second way is the API. That's what lets developers bake the AI's intelligence right into their own apps. You know, like putting a smart chatbot inside your food delivery app.
And when you use that API, you get access to these cool settings like temperature. Just think of it as the AI's creativity dial. If you need a straight-up, factual answer, you turn the temperature way down. But if you wanted to write a wild poem or brainstorm some crazy ideas, you crank that dial up to get more randomness and creativity.
Now let's get into the real secret sauce, the techniques. Because a great prompt is way more than just being specific. There are actual, proven strategies that can help you guide an AI from just answering simple questions to thinking through really complex step-by-step problems.
The easiest way to get this is with an analogy. Imagine you're trying to toss a little stone into a cup. A zero-shot prompt is like just closing your eyes and throwing, no practice. A one-shot prompt is where you show the AI one perfect throw first. And few-shot prompting, that's where you show it several perfect throws so it learns the exact pattern and can do it over and over again.
So shot prompting is fantastic for recognizing patterns. But what happens when you have a problem that needs actual logic? You know, like a math word problem. Just giving the AI a few examples of questions and answers isn't really going to cut it. The AI doesn't just need the answer, it needs to understand the how. And that brings us to the most important idea. Don't just give the AI the destination, you have to teach it how to think its way there. This leads us to a much more powerful technique called chain of thought prompting, where you literally lay out the step-by-step reasoning for the AI to follow.
Let's walk through this example here. We start with the question about Roger's tennis balls, but instead of jumping straight to the number 11, we break it down. We provide the reasoning. Okay, Roger started with 5. 2 cans of 3 balls is 6 more balls. And then we show the logic. So, 5 plus 6 equals 11. By showing our work, we force the AI to slow down and do the same, and its accuracy goes through the roof.
But what if you're dealing with a really tough problem? A problem where even one single chain of thought might have a mistake in it. Well, for those, we can take it a step further. We can basically ask the AI for a second opinion, or maybe even a third or a fourth.
This next technique is called self-consistency, and it's basically like taking an audience poll. You get the AI to try and solve the same problem multiple different ways. As you can see here, those different paths might lead to different conclusions. So what do? We just pick the answer that shows up the most often. In this case, it's the one that 70% of the reasoning paths landed on. It's a majority vote, and it makes the final answer way more reliable.
So, we've looked at the tools, the techniques, the whole shebang. Let's zoom out and put it all together. What's the big takeaway here, and what does all of this really mean for you?
You know, when it comes down to it, it's all about this one simple, powerful truth. Better inputs equal better outputs. That's it. The quality of what you get out of an AI is defined entirely by the quality of what you put in. It doesn't matter if you're a writer, a coder, an artist, your ability to clearly explain what you want is going to be your single greatest asset.
Which leaves us with a pretty deep question to think about. As these artificial intelligences get better and better at finding answers, could it be that the most valuable, the most human skill of all, is simply learning how to ask the perfect question?